Stepping outside your comfort zone can be daunting, but if you only do the things you're used to, you will never be better than you are now. I live on a small island off the coast of Maine. The community I come from is small, tight-knit, and supportive. The houses are close together, and in the summertime, children roam freely. The island is safe, it is quiet, and it is home. My whole life, I've been fascinated by other parts of the world. Growing up, my favorite book was DC's A Life Like Mine, which had full-page spreads about the lives of children in other countries. I was entranced with the wonderful photography in National Geographic's and startled by the horrifying images of poverty on the front pages of my grandfather's Sunday news. This past October, I flew across the world to a collection of villages in Uganda. I spent my time there with preschool children at the Clover School of Busega, Kampala. I went with my grandmother, and she's on the board of the Clover Foundation on the US side, which does all the fundraising. And she was there for all sorts of different things. They're trying to buy some new property for the school. And so I went with her, and it was a great bonding experience. Like, traveling with your 70-year-old grandmother is never not exciting.
Hello.
Hi, Emma.
Hi, Maisie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Just fine. What are you up to?
I'm working on my movie, and I have a couple questions for you.
Oh, all right.
I wanted to know what you thought of traveling overseas with me.
Oh. Actually, I've thought about this a little bit before. There are lots of things that struck me about it. When we went to Uganda and spent time there, that was a very different experience. It was new for me, just the way it was new for you. I also thought that there was a real openness to others. You were very engaged with people. You were responsive. Your love for the children and their love for you, and how quickly you started reading to them and talking to them and playing with them, and eventually showing them all kinds of fun games to play and songs to sing and what have you. That was really wonderful to see that part of your personality. So when you did the yoga and you did the chants and the dancing, obviously the kids absolutely loved it. And I think it was a couple of things. You were showing them something totally new, and that was something that they really enjoyed. I can't say I remember you ever complaining about anything. I thought that was great. You were able to really roll with the punches and just take things in. I have some specific memories. One was your excitement when we saw the herd of elephants, seeing so many together. There were any number of times when you were still asleep and I was up, and I would look at you and think, I can't believe we're doing this together. I felt a lot of pride in the way you were behaving there and the way you were enjoying so much, taking in all that we were seeing and all that we were doing and all that we were learning from different people. And it made me really happy that we were able to do the trip together and that you were able to experience something that was so strikingly different from Peaks Island.
Yeah.
I guess also going to the African dance troupe was another experience because it was, to me, very kind of energizing, and just seeing different types of dances and the skill of the people that were dancing. Because I've read books on Africa and love explorers. It was wonderful to go to the source of the Nile. That also will be a special memory for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was wonderful to think of these things.
Yeah.
Pretty proud of you, kiddo.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're a pretty cool kid.
Okay, have a lovely night.
Okay, love you a lot, sweetie.
I love you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We were flying in from Amsterdam where it was like 45 degrees and rainy, and we got to Uganda and it was like 98 and really, really sunny. We would drive with Solomon to the schoolyard, and then we would play with the kids and work with them for 2 or 3 hours. I would film. But also I was there to implement like learning practices with movement in the kids' school day. So we started with yoga, and then we did a lot of like dancing and structured movement. We played a lot of like agility games, which were really interesting. And then there was a lot of new like imaginative games like house, or like let's pretend we're on a boat. So we started with dancing. We did a lot of that work.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Back it up and start again. Hey, all you Clover fans, let me hear you clap your hands. Now that you got the beat, let me see you stomp your feet. Now that you got the groove, let me see your body move. One, two, three, four, five. Clover fans are so alive.
The time that they had to play, like imaginative time, was unstructured, and that allows for like play with like a ball or like games, but there's not a lot of imagination, and that's where like the cognitive development sort of kicks in, especially in interpersonal work and group work within like the student's day. I think I wanted to be working with a different population of students. I've done a lot of work with children before, but this was new because it was a new community. It was an entirely new group of people. I got to work with the families a lot, which was really interesting. We walked around, and it's one thing to see the students in their like school life and their school community with children their own age, but it's a whole other thing to see children with their parents and interacting with their families and their younger siblings. The Clover Foundation's Kisaboka Nanofinance program allows Clover mothers, grandmothers, and female guardians to take out interest-free nano loans payable within 1 year.
At first she was laying 500 sheets. Then the fits came and stole some. Some got sick. By that time she didn't have money for the medicine. But after joining Nano, she came back with them.
The goal of this program is to enable the mothers of Clover Foundation to improve on their livelihoods so that they in turn can create a better home environment for their children.
This trip was life-changing. When in the slums and suburbs surrounding Kampala, I encountered levels of poverty I never could have imagined. Clearly, it put my little island world into perspective. This trip was challenging. It was remarkable to bear witness to an existence entirely different from my own. There were homes without 4 walls, streets that doubled as latrines, and a lack of basic infrastructure at all levels. Despite all of these differences, the people I met and the wonderful efforts I came across were facing unmet needs head-on. This trip was important. These were strong communities. These were street corners that became clandestine marketplaces at night. These were parents of school-age children doing whatever it takes to make the best lives for their families. It was these inspiring people who led their communities in the educational efforts of the Clover School. My time in Uganda was just long enough to make lasting connections with those who I met.